Hi, I'm going to talk a little bit about why I wrote my debut novel, The Grace of Crows. I wrote what I knew, which is about a woman overcoming both chronic and acute anxiety. And besides writing what I knew for my first novel, I also wanted to touch upon this theme because having anxiety myself, I had never read a novel where the main character has anxiety and it's the main storyline of the book. I've read books where maybe it's touched upon but not throughout the book like this is. And I also wanted to write it in a hopeful kind of way so readers could walk away feeling better after they had finished reading it. So to give you a little bit of background on this book, I'll read you a short passage, but the protagonist's name is Sailor, and she's married with two teenage kids. Her husband, Brian, he's a good guy, but he's checked out. He's drinking a little too much beer. He's always wanting to get out and go exercise and get away from the family. Then she's got a 15-year-old daughter named Brooke. And Brooke is starting to exhibit some signs of a possible eating disorder and maybe anorexia. And the son, Devin, who's 17, is very shy and is dealing with OCD issues. But the most troubling person in Sailor's life is her mother, Erica, who has narcissistic tendencies, or maybe she could be a complete narcissist. And what she does to Sailor, and I believe when I talk to people, a lot of people have people like this in their lives, is she can be very harsh to Sailor and berate Sailor. And if it just ended there, it wouldn't be so difficult. But she turns things around where when she's rude and awful to Sailor, she makes it so that it's Sailor's fault and Sailor has to apologize, which of course does not help Sailor's anxiety at all. So in this passage in the book, Sailor she's just had dinner with her mother in a fancy restaurant in Malibu, and she's spending the night at her mother's house. Sailor needs to take a break from her mom. It's evening, it's nighttime. So she drives down to the beach where she had last seen Billy, her friend from childhood who has since become homeless. And she sees these homeless men who are Billy's friends sitting around a bonfire and decides to join them. So I'll start right here. She reached for the Hula Girl labeled bottle, knowing how disgusted Erica would be at the sight of her daughter sharing alcohol out of the same container with three bedraggled homeless men. Swallowing down the rum's spicy burn, Sailor mused how odd it was that she felt more comfortable sharing germs with these outcasts than having dinner at a fancy restaurant with her own mother. She passed the bottle to Dustin. Wex eyed her. You said before that you have fears that don't make sense. What are they? They're stupid. She looked at all three men, thinking that Dustin and Jack were barely in their 20s and wondering what hardships led them there. Surely they had all endured too much to be able to stomach her neurosis. I really don't think you guys want to hear a middle-aged woman go on about her ridiculous fears. I do, Jack said. Dustin let out a sharp whistle and exchanged wide-eyed looks of disbelief with Wex. Jack, how come you never said anything before? Jack shrugged, but didn't utter a word. Dustin turned to Sailor. You better answer the man. It's silly, Sailor smiled at Jack. Please, he said, I want to hear. Okay. She motioned for them to pass the bottle back to her and took another sip. I'm afraid that I'll blurt out crazy, horrible stuff without meaning to. Wex let out a whoop of a laugh. Sweetheart, that's a good one. I think you should run with it. "What do you mean?" she said. Both Dustin and Jack watched him, nodding in solemn agreement, as if whatever he was about to say was going to be right. There's power in shouting out anything that comes into your mind. It makes other people scared. That's true, Dustin said. I've seen plenty of crazy dudes do it, and I'll tell you, people that leave them alone. He winked at Sailor and then tilted his head back and howled. Jack laughed and joined in, and then Wex did too. Sailor watched the three men's upturned faces, their coyote calls sounding remarkably like the real thing. She threw her head back. That's a girl, Wex said. Go for it. So I hope you liked that short passage. And if you want to know more about my writing, please visit my website, tracyshawn.com. I'm on Twitter. I love Twitter. I'm on Facebook. And now I'm starting a YouTube channel. Never thought I would. Being an anxious person and all. So I hope to see you here again. Thanks for listening. I hope I get some people who will want to listen. Thank you.